What we are doing here is to democratize the future of work, to give power back to the people who are conducting work. And our slogan is join the movement and own your work. And this is essentially important, looking at the fast pace of growth and looking at the value which is created through freelance work.
Welcome back to the Airdrop Review podcast. We're super excited to have you back on. I'm your host, Aaron, and in today's episode, we're going to be having a conversation with UNITALENT's founder, Bardia Zanganeh. In this conversation, we're going to dive deep into what UNITALENT is, the business model, the team that's building it, and a little bit about the ICO, and of course, the airdrop. Let's get started.
So thanks, Aaron, for this opportunity that we discuss the team and the UNITALENT as a project. To my person, my name is Bardia. I am an engineer by training. I studied here at the ETH, which is one of the most prestigious engineering schools here in Europe. Then I worked as like a development engineer, as you do after graduating uni with mechanical engineering master, and started then getting more and more involved in project management. Then I got into management consulting. Learned a lot of great companies. I've worked for great personalities and got more and more involved also in the gig economy because we had a lot of like freelance experts and independent professionals in like cooperating with us in the team or outside of the team with the client teams. And then in 2013, I started a freelance agency called NZ Group here in Switzerland, which is an international agency at the moment.
For our audience, can you break down what UNITALENT is in like 1 to 2 sentences?
Sure. UNITALENT is kind of an Uber for high-scale freelancing. So it is a super intuitive, seamlessly, technologically, seamless blockchain is seamlessly integrated into the platform. It connects high-scale freelancers with corporate clients without any middleman. That's basically what UNITALENT is about.
Can you give us a background of maybe some of the unique technical features of the UNITALENT platform?
Yes, sure. So what we've done with the token economy and UNITALENT is specifically designed for the community, because looking at traditional online platforms, it could be like work or gig economy platforms, or it could be any other social media platform such as Facebook and LinkedIn, and you name all of them, is that once you're working on them, you create a lot of shareholder value, but you don't create value for yourself as a person who joined the network and is spending a lot of time and energy on there, right? Or sharing content, for instance. So that's the opportunity of blockchain token economics that we are using here. So the most obvious thing is that we are using blockchain technology to cut out middlemen. Once you find a client or a client finds you, you can enter direct agreements. All the conditions are in smart contracts. There will be trustlessly executed, so there is no question about that. On top of that, saying that it is free of charge for the freelancers, we are charging an 8% fee in our native token towards our clients, which is only charged if a project is really conducted. And those 8% in our native talent token, which will be exchanged directly on the platform, will be re-injected into the community. That means if you are a freelancer with a very high status because you got excellent reviews or have worked on several projects, or you are very engaged in dispute resolution or peer reviews or any other kind of content creation on UNITALENT, you will get more of our fees. Like you get between 10 and 25% of the fees we are charging towards the client will go directly to the freelancer who has been working on the project, him or herself. And there are a couple of other ways, like referral rewards, how you can monetize your direct network, because most high school freelancers have a very good professional network. It's also about how we can enter into partnerships with other agencies and motivate them to enter UNITALENT, and that's the way how we can scale very fast. And also those referral codes are trustlessly written on the blockchain, and every time it's a lifetime reward. Every time your direct network or people you have referred work on UNITALENT, you will get part of the fees that UNITALENT is charging to clients.
Perfect. Now that's a lot, and that really is interesting. Can you walk us through more of the tokenization of it? Because it sounds like it's very essential to exactly what your guys' vision is.
Yeah, so the whole tokenization and the whole model behind it is based on also considering the corporate side of the things, right? I mean, looking at our landscape, you're in the high scale market. The whole market is about 160 million freelancers today. It's said that it's growing exponential until 2025 at least. So those are numbers and facts which are out there, 5 to 6%, and so on and so forth. So we are targeting at the top end, which is about 30 million high scale freelancers in our target markets, and those people are freelancing as their premium source of income. So tokenizing the fees that they're charging the clients is a very hard sell, because they in the end still need to pay rent and go to the groceries, etc., and the ecosystem, the crypto ecosystem at the moment is not there yet. Maybe it's there in 2 years, but for the moment it's very essential that we have part of the basic payments for the freelancers and consultants' work it can be paid in fiat money. The same goes for the corporate clients, because they have a lot of questions that come up regarding accounting, compliance, legal. How can we, how can we handle tokenized assets in terms of where should we put the talent tokens, for instance? How can we buy them? All of those kinds of questions and which are out there. So what we are doing is that part is completely up to the corporates and up to the freelancers to decide whether they want to be paid in US dollars, in euros, in Britain pounds, etc. That's the first thing. Then there is an 8% fee, which is also charged towards the client if the client does not want to pay directly in tokens in fiat money, but then directly after it's been charged, directly exchange on the platform to tokens. So we're creating a buying pressure on the secondary market every time work is conducted in UNITALENT. And those 8%, which is, you can do the math and see, with 300,000 active users, it will be about 800 million in freelancer billings that we are planning to achieve within 2 years, which is kind of a conservative way to approach it, but we want to make sure not to overpromise in this project. And then you take the 8%. So we are generating a considerable buying pressure on the secondary market, looking at the 5 to like soft cap 5 and hard cap 20 million we want to raise, and that will not only stabilize but also increase the price of the tokens, only looking at the supply and demand side, of things.
Can you talk to me more about the experience you and the team have working in the freelance market before UNITALENT?
Yes, sure. And that's very, very important and interesting question. So we started in the freelance market in 2013 because, as I mentioned, I saw that more and more people as a lifestyle are working freelance. They want to hop from one project to the next. They don't want to be like in the administrative political games within big corporations or within any corporation, and they want to focus on what they're best at, and that was first just an observation. And then we thought to ourselves, okay, why we don't build like a company around this need on the market and the supply on the market also, because the number of freelancers was and still is increasing dramatically. And that was when we started with an agency which was not only connecting like freelancers to projects, but also kind of building project teams and adding services on top of the pure matchmaking. And it is super fun because it is a fast-growing environment and business. We are working with a lot of very smart and amazing people, self-driven people, and we are kind of at the forefront of this whole movement with a very deep understanding of the needs and of the challenges and kind of a good insight how the future could look like.
What is the structure of the UNITALENT team, and how many people are helping build this?
Sure. Yeah, so we are now about 13 people working on the project itself. We have a lot of advisors in terms of we don't have a lot of advisors. We have two specific advisors. One is for marketing and the other one is for investment advisory, and the rest are endorsers. And this is also where where you can see that we have a background in this business. Like going on our website or looking on at all those endorser statements, you see there are endorsers from the industry, like CEOs of companies, high line managers of companies who are endorsing UNITALENT and telling us and the community that they will be using and their companies will be using UNITALENT. And on the other side, there's a lot of freelancer endorsers, which might sometimes be confused because they're listed on the endorsers part of our white paper and on the website, but sometimes people think they're part of our team, but no, they're part of the community that we collaborate with regularly in terms of getting their feedback, and they also endorse us from the freelance community. Yes, this is it. This is solving my problems. This is a pressing need, right? And now focusing on the team itself, we have like freelance economy experts, which is me, myself, and Daniel, my business partner from the NZ Group, from the agency, which we are bringing a lot of network in clients and freelance network and a lot of insight there. Then there is Give, who is a PhD from ETH here, and he's our blockchain and token economy expert. So basically designing a token economy which makes sense when we are looking at the token flow cycle, at the token velocity, and doing all the math behind of it. So that's where our strong token economy really comes from, which is not only, there are a lot of companies that are tokenizing kind of their fundraising only. It's only about getting access to assets. For us, it's a token which is used on the platform. It really makes sense as a means to redistribute value and to monetize your reputation and network and so on and so forth. Then we have a pretty strong marketing team consisting of 3.5 people. One of our community managers and content creators, Sam, he's in fact in the United States as well, so rather in your time zone. And then we have a strong software development team. So there are 4 people here in Switzerland working on the platform. We have a full stack team of blockchain developers sitting in the Ukraine, and all of these amazing people are helping us to make it happen and to move on with a top-notch platform which is very user-friendly, which has no like technological obstacles to start working with, which is kind of a challenge when we're looking at the early stage blockchain technology at the moment.
It's really exciting. Now let's get into the part I'm sure a lot of our listeners really want to hear about, and that's the airdrop and also the future ICO. Can you talk to us about the airdrop and the decision the team made to go ahead and go forward with the airdrop, and maybe give us some details or some statistics on how you guys are seeing it help with the growth?
Yeah, sure. So we decided to go for the airdrop because it's one of the ways how we can create a lot of awareness for the project, right? And I would say it was pretty successful. We are using a professional platform for that with a partner. So it's something which is solid. It's something where we are 100% secure and safe. That all the tokens will be delivered at the given point of time. And looking at all of our channels and the traction that we were able to create through the airdrop, I'm very happy. It worked out very well. It's great. It's amazing. We have now a much broader audience out there listening to us and giving us feedback and PMing us, also welcoming us when we are traveling to different destinations. And that's very exciting, especially, that moment on social media channels, for instance, Telegram, where you see that the community members are answering questions themselves. Then you see, okay, those are folks who are really interested in the project, and they get acquainted and they know what they're getting involved in.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm sure you guys are really excited to see that community engagement. Just to clarify, can you give our audience the specific date where the airdrop is concluded?
Yes, the airdrop is concluded. I'm not 100% sure, but I think yesterday or today. And the bounty, we have 3 bounty rounds, and the next one will be announced shortly.
Can you give us some updates on what you're excited about with the ICO?
Yeah, sure. So we are conducting an ICO in 3 stages, and until October 1st, where we are going to start the public ICO, we are in the private sale. So during the private sale, you can get whitelisted, and then we have have special conditions with a minimum investment. We have pools of investors, like smaller investors who come together and support the project. And there are bigger investors who are getting involved. And the conditions are 50% or 30% discount for a limited number of tokens. So the ICO itself starts in October. We have 3 rounds of 3 weeks until the end of the year. And every round has a distinct discount code in terms of like the first one is 20% and 10%, and then it's at the rate of $0.2 per token.
Awesome. Thanks again, Bardia, for coming on and having this conversation. Now, before we go, I'm going to give you a second to plug where people could find you and maybe anything else you may want to say to our audience before you go.
Sure. Yes, definitely. What we are doing here is to democratize the future of work, to give power back to the people who are conducting work. And our slogan is join the movement and own your work. And this is essentially important, looking at the fast pace of growth and looking at the value which is created through freelance work, right? So what I always say is that a platform such as UNITALENT must be part of the infrastructure of any digital economy, because this is so important. When we are looking at 50% of the people generating value for themselves, for their families, and for the society through freelancing, this is extremely important. And if you want to be part of this movement, this is the opportunity. So I cordially invite you, have a look at our website, which is www.unitalent.io. There are all the links there. Ask us directly, also me, directly for any questions you might have. Get whitelisted and support the project. This is the future of work.
And that wraps up today's episode of the podcast. We really hope that this conversation brought you some insight and value on what UNITALENT's working on. Now, if you want to check out more of what we're working on, check out the show notes. I'm linking up our website, airdrop-review.com, and also all of our social medias. Feel free to reach out if you have any ideas or feedback. We're always looking to hear from our audience, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks.